Dominic Carter here with you. Talk Radio 77 WABC. Let's go to our friend Jacqueline in Brooklyn. Good morning, Jacqueline. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. Just to add a little bit more information and some other incidents, unfortunately, that occurred in recent years. There was a lot of talk, not only by yourself, but by many of your callers, about increasing the age that an individual could have access to an assault weapon.
Yes.
That would have done nothing in San Bernardino, where 14 people were killed and 17 were wounded. It would have done nothing in the Orlando nightclub, where a 29-year-old man killed 49 people and wounded 53, nor would it have done any good in the Las Vegas shooting that killed 59 and injured over 500 by a 64-year-old man.
Jacqueline,
so what would we do about those situations?
Jacqueline, granted, for argument's sake, to your point, it would have done nothing in those cases. But what about the situation in Buffalo and in Texas?
It all boils down to the same thing, Dominic.
No. But the shooters were 18 years old. Jacqueline, we can't pick and choose. We can't say it didn't work in San Bernardino and here and here and here, and then want to ignore what happened in terms of the facts of the age. I'm not accusing you of ignoring the situation. I know that you're not built like that. But all I'm saying to you is that we can't cherry pick which cases we want to focus on, Jacqueline.
No, but that's not the point. The point is not the age. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You could have a room full of loaded AR weapons, automobiles, planes, knives, poison, without them being in the hands. I was going to use the word human, but I'm going to use the term Homo sapien because I don't consider these individuals human. They would never injure or kill anyone. The point is, it's always the common denominator. It's always the same thing. We always find out that these individuals have usually more than one incident, usually a lengthy history of threats and mental illness. There's got to be monitoring. That's the only thing, and that's what people refuse to talk about, and that's what the politicians refuse to throw any money at. They'd rather throw money away and at other things that are not important, rather than securing, in this case, schools. That's something that can be done. You can't safeguard every soft target, but you can certainly safeguard schools, and there's a litany of ways that you can do so.
Well, I will acknowledge this much, Jacqueline, and I do thank you for the call. You already know my position is that an 18-year-old should not have an assault-type style weapon. But even if you ban them, as I believe was the case in California, and push the age up, it faces a court challenge, and sometimes the newly passed law does not hold up on appeal or in court. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way, and I'm really about trying to find a solution, and that's why I'm saying that, because I don't say this lightly, but perhaps arming school teachers, ones that want to go through training and so on. Maybe it's the way to go, because we have to be honest, folks. For lack of a better term, this is not the TV show SWAT, where something happens and the 911 call comes in, and 30 seconds later, here comes the SWAT truck with the team moving in immediately. This is the real world. This is the real world. And so you have police protocol. It appears that the protocol was definitely not used in this case in terms of an active shooter go in, right? We can question it till we're blue in the face. It's not going to change the facts of what happened. But this is not Hollywood. And so considering that this is not Hollywood and it takes police time to mobilize, let's say New York City, for example, God forbid. Let's say something like this happened in New York. So the mayor on Morning Joe said that New York would handle it very differently. The type of situation that occurred in Texas wouldn't happen here. But even in New York, right, it's going to take time for the emergency service units to put on their gear and get to location. It's going to take time for the specially trained SWAT teams in New York City to get to the location. That's why in New York, where laws were changed, and I see all your calls. I'm gonna get to them, folks. I really am this morning. When in New York, when the laws were changed to deal with the mentally ill, it takes time. So now what happened as a result of Eleanor bumpers in the Bronx, and that's when I had just started in journalism, and I had never seen autopsy photos and photos of what a woman's arm looked like blown off from a shotgun blast until I looked at those photos, and I ran into the bathroom and threw up. But the point I'm making is that the laws that have changed, and as the police have gotten better in dealing with situations, this is not SWAT on TV. If there's, let's say New York City, if there's an emotionally disturbed person, emergency services has got to gear up and get on location before anything can happen. And a lot can happen in that 5 to 10 minutes that it may take for law enforcement to get on location. Dominic Carter here with you, Talk Radio 77 WABC. I've got to take a break, but I see my friend Stan here in Forest Hills. He says, no way teachers should not have guns. Is that accurate, Stan?
That's as accurate as I can be. I can't believe you said that. And I'll tell you why I can't believe it. Once we give teachers – the weapons of a teacher are a book of geography, is a math book, is a history book. That's their weapons when they go into that classroom every day, is to get to the minds of their students. They were not bred or educated to carry guns. Once we give the gun to any teacher, we have failed totally. There is no way. Okay, we are a failure as a country when we start have to give. Absolutely.
Okay. So Stan, let's deal with the reality. Okay, so Republicans are not budging thus far as we know, on their position, right, as it relates to further gun control. So if they're not budging and are not going to budge, then what is the answer?
Throw them out once and for all. Throw them out. Now is the opportunity. You know, I keep hearing on and on. Well, you know, that we got the Democrats on the economy. This issue is the issue. And you got politics be damned what Rita said. We shouldn't talk politics. It's all been about politics. Who are we kidding here? What the hell are we talking about? Texas and what happens about politics. It has nothing to do with anything. Come on, wake up.
But Stan, but when you say throw them out, you do realize that for the most part, their views, for the most part, represent the views of their constituents.
Arguing that point. I'm not arguing that point.
So then, if they represent the views,
doesn't mean that doesn't mean people will change. I think the thinking of parents today who have children will change. The election will do it. If it doesn't happen, we deserve exactly what we get. Change has to be made. I'm sorry, I don't agree. It's all politics. What did Jacqueline say? The equal denominator was something. It's the gun, lady. That's what it is. I mean, you know, it's the gun. Canada is trying to do something. They're not getting rid of it. They're stopping what they can to get it. At least it's something. And there's no Second Amendment in Canada. I mean, the Second Amendment in this country is a hurka on our back. It needs to be whittled a little bit, just like the First Amendment is. Everything's not. So why not? I have no problem with that. But to tell me that teachers have to carry guns,
no. I didn't say have to.
You're recommending it.
I'm recommending it, and I said teachers that decide to do so.